What up, buddy?
Yeah,
Look at us. We finally got it.
first try.
I know, man. I know. We out here. We out here. What's good with you, brother?
I can't complain. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. You know what I'm saying? What's good with you, man? How you
I
doing?
can't complain.
We
Can't
here.
complain.
IG.
Can't complain.
So first of all, how was your fourth, bro?
Well, I didn't celebrate the fourth, so I mean, my fourth was just the fourth of how the fourth of every month is. Just so happened it fell on a Saturday, so I still did what I do because I'm a DJ. I drink, I party, I have fun. I mean, every weekend. So
Did you
that was like I saw that was somebody mean. Like they put it. It was like, you see me drinking, don't get confused that I'm celebrating the fourth. I drink every weekend. That was just a meme that I was just quoting. But actually I didn't drink at all. But I did party. I had a party.
where you party at?
Your Baz Lounge in Baltimore. I do it every Saturday. So that's the move on Saturdays.
How is that working, bro? Doing COVID?
I was doing good. It was 50% capacity where I'm set up. I mean, can't nobody get close to me but the people that work there, and they all wear masks too. So, and I had my mask on. So, yeah, I ain't playing no game. I ain't playing no games with COVID.
It's no DJ request.
No request. No request. No request. I'm not that DJ anyway.
What's the? I never knew that. So people can't make requests while you mixing.
Nah.
Is that's really annoying, right? When y'all be doing y'all thing and then.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Oh, so that's a public service announcement right now, right? Like,
yeah, that's annoying.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, sometimes every once in a while you get somebody that'll come up to you. They be like, "Hey, can you play this record?" And you be like, "Dang, I really did forget about that record. That's a good one. That's a good request.
Okay,
that's a great request."
Okay.
But that's like so few and far between. That's like once a year.
For the most part, you're being annoying.
Yeah, for the most part, they're annoying.
Okay. Did you happen to catch the Louis Farrakhan speech yesterday?
I caught bits and pieces of it. I was actually doing my radio show when he was speaking, and I was trying to go back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
looking at both screens and all that, but I didn't get a chance to actually like dive in.
Did anything stood out to you in that little part?
Huh?
Anything stood out to you?
Nothing really set out to me. Like I said, because I was like tearing myself away. I want to go back and because I'm sure it's like still up on YouTube or it's still a place I can look at it. So I want to go back and like really dive into what he was saying. 'Cause he spoke for like 2 hours, didn't he?
Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna front. The first hour I watched, I was kind of like doing like you. I was multitasking, like I was driving. And so what I did was this morning I was it's on YouTube. It's like 2 hours.
Mm.
But I think Revolt was playing it live.
Yeah, it was on Revolt too.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it on my phone as I was doing my show. I was multitasking, trying to pay attention. I got a couple of quotes from it, but I couldn't give you a full opinion of it.
No. I mean, he if you're somebody, I think you're somebody. I don't want to make the assumption, but you listen to Farrakhan, right? You've heard many of Farrakhan's, speeches.
Yeah, I've heard him speak before.
Yeah. I mean, if you've heard Farrakhan speak and you really listen, I don't think nothing he said was going to be like shocking, like, mind blowing or whatever. It was nothing he was going to say was going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. It's unfortunate because now you see a bunch of old Farrakhan interviews coming up, back in the early 80s when he was on Donahue and saying the same things that we've been screaming or people have been screaming. And it's like, now all of a sudden it makes sense to everybody. I'm like, yo, imagine having to wait 30 years for people to
understand what you're saying.
People just to understand what you're saying, not necessarily like just to be like, oh, you was talking about a particular set of situations, like, you know what I mean? Like, someone told me years ago that if you're going to be a progressive, then one thing you got to learn is be patient, because you're not going to be right. Like no one.
They got to catch up.
People got to catch up, man. So I thought the speech yesterday was good. I thought it was healthy to hear that. And it for me, it's good to see a just due of someone who's been so impactful in our culture. However you may or may not feel about them, because that's the first time I ever seen any kind of respectable network say, yo, we're promoting Farrakhan tomorrow since the Million Man March. You know what I mean? Like, it's so to anytime I see somebody like that get they
Yeah, he was
debut.
definitely like public television blackballed for
Yeah,
a long
yeah.
time.
I mean, and I feel that way about a few leaders, you know, that have been impactful in our culture. It's like when you see them get they due now, it's like, you know, it's like cool, you know what I mean? They're getting their flowers now, like, all right, they're promoting it. So yeah, man, I thought it was, you know, so I thought it was cool, but nothing I would say he said for me made me be like, oh snap, you know, I can't believe Farrakhan going at him like that. Like Farrakhan been saying the same thing since I've been coming up for years. You understand? And I guess I was one of those, you know, we were one of those people that heard exactly what he was talking about from the jump. So it's not a shocker, you know, to me. But it was good to see him in that platform. And for him to also keep it a buck, because he was like, yeah, I need a glass of water. It's hot out here. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be a faith leader, he was also telling people about wearing their masks. And it's crazy how you have to tell people that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
did see the one part when he was talking about how coronavirus made Ramadan. It made Ramadan even better because it made everybody sit home and chill. It made everybody reflect and think a little harder
okay.
and actually go back. I did get it's bits and pieces that stick in my head, but that was one of where he was
Yeah.
just talking about how this was a great Ramadan because of coronavirus. It made Ramadan even better because it just made everybody sit still.
Yeah, man, because listen, when he was talking about dismantling white supremacy and about white people, you know, actually like, you know, benefiting from that, and you have to dismantle it, because one thing he said is coming to me now. He was saying, you know, you want to take down the white Jesus portraits when you always knew Jesus wasn't white. So why you want to take him down now? Because you knew he wasn't white when you put him up, but you wanted to benefit from it. And it's like, he's absolutely correct. Like, you understand? Like, in your Bible that you gave me, it doesn't say Jesus is white. Like your Bible. It ain't like the Bible that I had in my house. Like your Bible that you made me read, it's describing Jesus looking a lot like the dude that I know down the street in my neighborhood.
Yeah,
Not
he
the
actually
guy.
quoted the Bible a lot too.
Yeah. And I think, you know, stuff like that, man. But it's just, you know, it's amazing to me what it takes for people to actually listen. You know, George Floyd had to lose his life for people to actually listen. You know, it's amazing to me, like, how many black bodies have to go for people to be like, oh man, this is bad. Like, it's amazing to me. You know, it's still mind blowing to me. Let's dive into the big news that came in like last night. That's still kind of fresh. What did you catch about Kanye West announcing that he's running for president?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Is it even possible at this point to enter the ballot?
I'm not going to pretend as if I know all the information and what it takes to run for president.
Yeah, I know
What
you
I
got to
am
be
going to say
35, but
is,
I thought it was like a time period or something. Like it's
I thought so
July
too.
and
I thought,
it's
and I mean, it is an
I
application
didn't
you have
know.
to get.
I'm just curious.
It is an application you got to fill out, right? Like, is it?
I mean, I guess so. I don't. I'm just. I just when I heard it, I was like, is that even possible? Like, is it even like literally possible? Like, could he even like put his name on a ballot at this point in the stage in the game? Where like the election is literally November and it's July, so the election is literally 4 months away, and people have been campaigning for 2 years. I wasn't sure if it was like an extra admission date, like you got to be signed up by this date or something like that. But I don't know.
But isn't that the
Apparently, it
issue?
isn't.
But isn't that the issue? Like right now, is that we never universally knew what was the qualifications of being president.
And
You know
apparently
what I'm
there's
saying? Like
none.
we never knew. Like I thought you had to have a political office, right? And then Trump proved that wrong. Like, so isn't that part of the problem? Like, we're like the facts aren't in like public, like known. Like you might have to go look that up or whatever. Like it should be like, are people
Yeah,
breaking rules that were
apparently it's
never
not as
there?
hard as everybody thought. Yeah, apparently the qualifications aren't as hard as
Yeah,
everybody thought.
yeah. It's like it's
Kind of
like
like becoming a police.
it's like it's it's like the president showing your tax return. Like we all thought you had to, right? And Trump, you know, it's like I guess
Yeah.
you don't, right? It was just an honorable thing to do. It was just an honorable thing to do, but you technically didn't have to. What you think about, you know, he also got support from Elon Musk, you know, tells the guy. What you think about that in general?
Elon Musk is he's funny. Yeah, the acronym he went to the SEC. The what is it? What's the acronym for the SEC? It's the Security something Administration, like with the space stuff. So he was like SEC is a 3-letter acronym. Second letter Elon, because he
Oh
was
God.
basically telling the SEC to You know, so he's a very opinionated guy. So I thought that was good. I thought it was just hilarious to me. I'm sorry.
But you just
Whatever the
thought it was funny.
political stance is, yeah, I just thought it was funny. I just found it
So
kind
I
of
mean,
amusing at the
him,
moment.
Kanye running for president, does it affect? I mean, how do you think? Do you think it can just be another distraction? Do you think it can take away voters? Do you think it hurt anything?
I think it's definitely a distraction because we can't by any means necessary allow Trump to get reelected. But I will say this though, and this is probably not going to be a popular opinion, but if
We're not
Kanye,
here for popular opinions, bro.
okay, but if Kanye were to, like, I'll put it like this, I'm more pro Kim becoming the first lady than I am pro Kanye becoming the president, though.
Please explain that.
And I'll tell you why. Because over the past 5, 6 years, nobody has gotten more unjustly incarcerated black men out of jail than Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
So she is definitely, like, all people always for years said she had really no talent. It was just her looks and her body was her talent. Like, she has a talent for getting it done when it comes to the judicial system. Like, she for some reason she pushes those buttons and gets it done. So I'm all for Kim in that aspect because, I mean, you may not want it to be her that gets it done, but hey, she gets it done. So that's how I feel.
Do you think that's just because like she's a celebrity and she was able to speak to Donald Trump, who's also a celebrity, and that's the only kind of language he understands?
Hey,
Not so much of her skill set, but it's because the celebrity
at
portion
the
of
end
it.
of the day, all that matters is did you get it done or did you not?
Okay.
She got it
So,
done.
so that
If
makes her.
everything she's done up into her life led to this moment and leading to her having this amount of power, that's all that matters. Just like Jordan. Everybody talking about
So
Jordan
for
with the
that,
documentary. How Jordan, let me finish this before I forget, how Jordan, like, they criticized him for never being a political person. But if Jordan somehow had a plan that I'm going to be quiet right now and get myself big enough so I can get into power and then I can push change. Maybe it just took us to catch up because now Jordan, he's speaking out, and Jordan has employed so many black people and opened up doors for so many people to break so many, like, he made way for LeBron to get the shoe deals, Allen Iverson, like these lifetime deals that these athletes are getting and stocks in their shoes that they're getting are all because of Mike, even though maybe he back in the day he stood quiet so he could gain until he got big enough to where he could really affect the change, and that's probably what's going on. So at the same, jumping back to Kim Kardashian and all that sex tape and all the keeping up the Kardashians and all that built her up to the point where she can affect this change, I am fine with it. I don't care. All that matters at the end of the day is did you get
Well,
it
there. I
done? And
mean,
she gets it done.
well, well. Here's the thing with that though. There is no qualifications when it comes to being like a first lady, so to speak, right? Nothing on paper. So I mean, her being a first lady, I mean,
No, you
she can
just
do
gotta
that
be married to the
solo.
president.
Yeah, you just gotta be married to the president. You know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying in that, man. I don't know again if Kanye
But
taking.
I think she'll affect way more change and do a lot more positive things than the current first lady we have.
I mean, but that, bro. See, again, we're shooting
The
for.
bar is so low, right?
Yeah, like that's a like, man. We're shooting like we can't. We can't have this attitude that because the bar is so low, it's like, oh, well, they'll do better than this person when the other person has done absolutely nothing. That's like your dad that never came home, and your stepdad, all he did was take you to the store. Like, that don't mean he was a great stepdad. You know what I'm saying? If all he did was just give you a head nod, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, the bar is set so low. The thing with the Kanye, like, okay, first of all, let's pretend as if it's not too late for him to become or to run for president. Let's pretend, right? Let's pretend. We don't know.
Okay.
We both say it right now, so don't inbox us about what we don't know. We're admitting we do not know if technically you can enroll into running for president right now at this moment.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible.
We don't know, right? So let's pretend as if he can. Here's the thing,
I
right?
would assume, but go ahead.
There's a chance, right, that people were making an argument online that he can take away voters from the left. There's a chance, like a portion of voters, that he can still take away from the left, despite the fact that he's also been rooting for Trump. Because if he take away any voters, he's not going to add any voters to the right wing because their minds are already made up. He might take away some of those alleged lazy, quote unquote, on the fence type of thinkers and it might be a distraction to either make them stay home and don't vote or take away some votes from that. Here's my thing when it comes to that. When it comes to everything that we've been suffering with the COVID, all the heartaches we've been having, people out of jobs, unemployment, the way this administration has handled this whole season that we've been in, I really don't have the patience for any kind of games right now. Like for Kanye or anyone who thinks that this is a joke. Like, I don't really have the patience for people to feel like they can just roll out of bed to even make that announcement. Even if you can't run, like to even make that
I mean, that's what Trump did.
I'm going to run.
He rolled out of bed, literally.
And what I'm saying is, look where it got us, right? So I'm talking about right here at this moment, right here in 2020. What's this? July. Right here in July 2020. I don't have the patience for none of this, even as a joke. Like, I don't have the patience for Kanye at this moment. I don't have the patience for Kanye to be making these songs, wash our hand with blood or whatever. And yeah, he might have gave money to George Floyd's daughter, but what difference does it make if you're still going to support someone who still got the same policies that caused a George Floyd to die? Like, what difference is it going to make? You understand? So the thing about when it comes to a Kanye West or anybody of that who think they can just roll out of bed and even to make that announcement as a distraction, I don't have the patience for it. Like, I don't, bro. Like, people are unemployed. People don't have jobs right now. People are dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all these things that's going on, I don't have time for some rich, elite, idiot asshole to just roll out his bed and all of a sudden, now, you know what, I'm going to run for president because you can't even finish your complete sentences half the time. You can't even finish your sentences. How you going to finish policy? You have to wait 10 minutes for Kanye to get to a point. Imagine waiting to see him when it comes to a policy. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's not even worth the discussion of whether or not he can win or not. It's just the whole distraction piece of that. Like, I'm at my wit's end with that kind of thing, man. Like, I just am, man. Even like I said, the announcement of it, I'm just not with it. I'm just not with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was out of the blue and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It just threw me out of like, I was like, what? Yeah. I didn't take it serious. So I'm like, I
mean, yeah, you know, and I might have gave it more steam than it should, you know, and I'm enough to admit that. It's just the fact of it being an announcement as is. For someone to feel like they could just say it, for me, it's just extremely annoying. That's how I'm looking at it. It's just extremely annoying, man. I mean, did you like the song? Did you ever catch the song, Wash This in Blood?
Nah, I ain't even listened to it yet. I ain't even listened to the record yet. I seen it and I got it. I got the Def Jam emails about the record, but I haven't listened to it yet. No, I have not.
Do you think this is an example of celebrity worship being taken too far, though?
I mean, at the same token, that's why we got a president. That's who's the president. Celebrity worship, like.
Yeah. You got it.
So that's the American way.
Yeah. You know, I don't even feel like making a smooth transition with this, man. Let me just ask you real quick. When it comes to the songs that are being made, do you feel like artists are making responsible songs for this movement? I mean, for the vibe that we're in right now?
I think so. I mean, it's only certain artists that are actually doing it. Like, I think artists like Lil Baby, I think are definitely making a conscious effort. Meek is definitely making a conscious effort. He was kind of already on this move ever since he came home anyway. So Meek kind of like it was just like a tailspin of perfect timing for Meek.
Do you feel like Meek has been kind of hypocritical though lately in his moves? Like, for example, he was saying that this ain't the time for people to be flashing on IG. Then like 2 weeks later, he was flashing on IG with his cash. You know what I mean? He said, you know, we shouldn't be canceling each other. I'm tired of seeing people cancel black people, even though he didn't even read what was going on. He didn't read the room. And then he wanted to cancel, you know, the other academics. So it's like, do you think he's contradicting himself and all that stuff? I mean,
I'm all for canceling that.
I know you with that, but I'm just saying, do you think that he's been a hypocrite when it comes to that? When it comes to a lot of his moves lately, or his moves have just been a little questionable?
Well, I mean, it's like, I'll say this one. This is the same thing I feel when people talk about Tupac. It's like, nobody feels the same way 24/7. Like, everybody goes through moods. Everybody has mood swings, no matter male, female. Nobody feels the same way all day, every day. So I may say one thing and I'm in one mood, and then a week later, you know, I just may feel like just having fun, and that's just that. Like, it's like nobody's in the same mood all the time, and you want to put everybody in this box. Like, once they step in here and I'm conscious, all right, I got to be conscious 24/7 for the rest of my life. Like, but that's not mentally, I can't do that. Like, I need a break.
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, but bro, I mean, real talk. I don't know if it's a sense that you have to be conscious 24/7, but if you're saying one thing that you feel like you should stand on, and we're talking about 2 weeks later, that's not about being conscious. We're talking about your words. If you're telling people this ain't the time to be throwing up jewelry and everything on your IG, and then a week later or a month later, or whatever, you're doing the exact same thing, you're showing bands. That's not about
You
being
said a month later, yeah.
That's not about
A
being
month.
conscious 24/7. That's a straight contradiction.
And it's all perspective too, because you never know. You could be on vacation. He could have just went on vacation for something, or I don't know. You never know. It's
Yeah,
all
but
in perspective.
don't criticize. Okay, yeah, but don't open your mouth about that if that's the case. If you know you are in that, don't open your mouth on that. My only issue when it comes to Meek, first of all, I think Other Side of America is a dope ass record. Like that record,
It's a great record.
That record is a great record. Like, protest or not, that record is a great record. You know what I mean? But the thing about with Meek is a lot of times, man, he can talk you into liking him. He can talk you into not liking him. You understand? Like, he'll come into a room, dude. I mean, the whole B Simone.
You have a love-hate relationship with me,
man. He'll come in the whole B Simone thing. You making a comment and you're like, I didn't even read it. I'm just don't want y'all doing this. And it's like you didn't even read what was going on. Like the whole fact that you have this attitude that you don't feel like you have to read anything, but yet you feel like you can make certain laws. Like, okay, if you want to be the one to make the laws, then you got to follow them yourself. If you're saying people shouldn't be flashing, then you have to follow that. If you're saying that we shouldn't be canceling, then you have to follow that. If you're the one who wants to make these statements and you want to be the leader that you're claiming you will be, I'm only going to hold you accountable when you say it. I don't think art should be activism unless the art tells me so. So when you are telling me you want to be this leader, you want to set these rules, I'm going to need you to be the first person to follow these rules, champ. You can't be just changing your mind like that. Not you, if you're stepping out there to be the leader.
Yeah, you got a point, I guess.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. You know
but just for the songs, I think the songs are good. I think all the conscious songs that we've seen have good. That was the question. You just went totally left. But
because you mentioned me. You know how I feel about that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? You knew it. You baited me. I took it.
You soft. Well, let's go to something on the brighter side.
Well, first, yeah, I wanted to say I think Griselda, West Side Gun just dropped a second album for the year. So I think Griselda. I had tweeted this the other day. I think Griselda is killing 2020. And I should use a better choice of words. Griselda is actually doing is
speaking of
2020.
Speaking of Griselda and Benny the Butcher, he put out a tweet. He was like, and this is so him, because if you know him and you've actually got to meet Benny the Butcher, this is his personality. But he was like, he was in the club, he's in his PB in the strip club, and the DJ asked him, "What records you want me to play?" Because we know Benny the Butcher, Griselda does not make club records. They don't make club friendly records. They're gritty, old school hip hop.
Right. With a new sound.
1-2 punch. Yeah, that's their sound. So he was like, yeah, the DJ asked me, which one of your songs should I play? He's like, man, can you please put City Girls back on? Let me throw this money. Like, I'm not here for that right now. We here for the experience. Put City Girls back on and let me throw this money.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at City Girls. City Girls did drop an album, and shout out to them too. Hey, listen, man, that girls in the hood by
Megan goes hard.
It go hard, bro. It go hard. I can't fake. You know what I'm saying?
Girls in the hood, Megan ain't playing like she
ain't playing.
Stupid.
And I dare any man to try to tell me their heart didn't stop when she said it never happened if it wasn't snapping. Like, I dare any man to tell me he paused for 1.2 seconds. Like, I count, right? Wait a minute. I know I count, right? Like, I know I count. Like, yo, that record go hard. Like, I can't even front, man. That record definitely goes.
And she killed, and the beat she killed. The beat she took, it had to be, she had to go dumb on an NWA beat. So,
did you catch the heat with Eazy-E's daughters were arguing with each other about that whole song?
No.
His daughters were on Twitter. One was saying that none of his kids receive pretty much any royalties or any money from that, but people get to keep remaking their songs. And it's funny that other artists can.
How is that when he owned the company?
I'm just telling you what she said. She said that, you know, when people that anybody can remake my father's record, but when we try to do something, we're blocked. And then another daughter said she support the record and she don't know who that other daughter is. You know, Eazy had like kids. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Eazy had like 10. You know what I mean?
He was not strapping up back then.
He was not strapping up at all. You know what I mean? God bless the dead, but he was not strapping up. So yeah, it was a huge thing about that. But as far as like how they don't have the money or why things don't come to them like that, I guess maybe because it's 10 different, you know, maybe because it's different homes.
Oh, maybe because the guy, what was his name? What was the manager name? The
Jerry Heller.
partner?
Jerry Heller.
Yeah, Jerry Heller. That's where the money's at.
But Jerry died. Jerry died recently.
Well, Jerry's family got it.
Oh, well, damn.
Jerry's estate. That's where the money. If Easy's
Yeah,
missing any money, it's at Jerry Heller's estate.
yo, I hate to hear about hip hop kids not receiving any royalties or money, man, from the work that their folks put in, especially kids of legends, you know, because you got kids that are like sons or daughters of one-hit wonders, and they're getting money, and we're hearing about legends and their children not receiving anything. I think that sucks, man.
Paperwork, get that paperwork right, which they didn't know back then. So
they didn't.
Everything was done on a handshake, and then the paperwork said something totally different.
Yeah, they didn't know. I see people still making records with your guy.
Who?
Oh, you gonna act? You don't know about your mans? Your mans. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everybody making records with him. What you think about that?
Oh no, you talking to the wrong academic. Nah, bro.
Yo, your face don't even budge. Like you're like, no.
Nah.
I mean, what is that climate like? Did you ever think you would live to see that? I mean, real talk. Where artists are freely making records with someone who is a proud informant, and he only did like a few months, and people are locked up. Like Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I'm very proud to say that I have never listened to the record. I've never listened to a video, watched the video. I have not supported those records at all. Haven't listened to them. Haven't played them. Haven't heard them. Haven't watched the video or anything. So stream nothing. So,
are you surprised by any means of people even making records with him? Like, are you surprised?
No, because there's a lot of people that want to be gangsters that really don't have the heart to be gangsters. That's 80% of America.
But what about
closet gangsters? Like 80% of America is closet gangsters.
No, that's
like, true. How many little Poindexters walking around, or just guys you see that just act tough all the time, and you know they not. And you pull their card, and they just a whole different. I'm sorry. No,
that's true. That's true. But what about?
So like, they can relate. They can relate.
But what about an established artist like Nicki Minaj though, who apparently her husband is from the block? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about an artist like that? Like, are you shocked about that she would make a record with him?
I'm not. Actually, at this point in her career, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Would she have? I don't think. Would she have done it? Would Monster Nicki have done the record? Nah. Monster, like I'm a monster. Yeah, no, she was trying to be around the right people. Now she's just reaching for any type of attention. So I'm not surprised right now.
I mean, that's real. I just never thought I'd live to see that kind of day where people are like.
She heard about him having 2 million people on his on his IG live, and she was like, "Yep," hopped on that wave. She was like, "I'm gonna hop on this Wise Hop right now," and that's exactly what she did. So that's fine. But I tell you, yeah. But speaking of that, but I do tell you this though. I mean, somebody who better. Cause we were just talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Cardi B better drop a record soon.
Why you say that? She
better drop an album.
She on Instagram popping right now.
She on Instagram popping, but yeah, she needs to drop some music. Cardi needs to drop an album because Megan ain't playing. Megan wants the spot.
But see, you're doing that thing though. But see, bro, you're doing that thing where you're putting women against each other. Why is it that it has to be a threat to Cardi while Megan is out? You wouldn't say that with other artists. You wouldn't say that if J. Cole was popping, Kendrick better hurry up, or if such and such popping.
I'm talking about the crown. I'm talking about the crown of the top. I ain't saying she's not gonna be relevant. I'm just saying Megan wants the top spot. She don't want to be one of the best females. She wants to be the best female.
But I think Megan is somewhat reminds me a little bit of Nicki. I don't think Megan wants to be the best female. I think Megan wants to be the best. You know how like Nicki wanted to be the best. She didn't want to be the top female. Nicki wanted to be the best, and I feel like Megan wants to be the best. I don't think she's going for that queen crown, dog. I think she's trying to conquer it all. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I think that would be too small because, hey, listen, man, a lot of people have tried to redo that Boys in the Hood song, and it didn't go off that well. We rocked
it definitely went. A lot of people have tanked doing that one. But just to clarify, though, I mean, because I do say that with guys too.
Okay. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I ain't tripping about it. I hear you though. I mean, I would like to hear some new Cardi music. I mean, her IG is popping. She be entertaining me, but I would like to hear some new Cardi at this point. I
Man,
think,
I'm a Cardi fan. I'm a
yeah,
Cardi fan and I'm a Megan fan. So
I think
I want Cardi to be out, but she just been living life
she been
a little
quarantining,
bit too
bro.
long now.
She been quarantining. She been
She was
quarantining.
quarantining before quarantining was a thing, man.
She had I mean, dog, she wanted to be a mother. She had all these other things going on, man. You gotta let your artists
She
breathe,
bought a
bro.
palace.
You gotta let these artists. You gotta let your artists. If you want good work, certain artists, they're not like Jay-Z when they're gonna be flipping every single summer. Certain artists have to go away for a second, absorb, and do their thing.
I don't
That's all I'm
care.
saying.
I want some new Cardi. I'm gonna call up Atlantic Records. I'm calling Atlantic.
Okay,
I need new
you do
Cardi. I
that.
need a new Cardi album. It needs to
Is that
come.
because
That's
of the
right.
plat? Is that because of the plat you got in the background right there?
Oh, well, no, it's not just because of that. I mean, I'm a literal fan. Like I was around Cardi when she was as she was coming up before Bodak Yellow hit. So I'm a fan, and I know she's talented. But I definitely I see this hurricane coming, and
No,
it
no,
ain't
no, no.
slowing
Listen,
down.
listen. Hey, listen. You are not lying because when I saw the video, well, first of all, the song goes hard, and then when I saw it on the BET Awards, you know, when I got the image of it, I was like, yo, she really did that. You know what I mean? Like she did that. Did you catch the BET Awards at all?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it. I thought it was great that how they what they had and what they brought and what they did with it. So it was definitely good. Like I said, I knew it was going to be that kind of way, like an NFL draft, BET Awards type of thing. So, but the performances were like, I mean, they were basically music videos. Let's just say that. Just say what it is. They were music videos, but they did like I did notice that BET told them that they wanted the performance sound, so it wasn't like a that clean music video sound. It was like a performance audio. So I did
Yeah,
notice that though. But I
yeah.
thought they did a good job of what they had. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I mean, it was going to be tough to pull anything off. Like
Yeah.
already they had to cancel the whole BET Awards weekend experience, which is like you can go to the BET Awards experience and be fine without even going to the show because of
Oh yeah.
all the festivities and all the just
Most people do.
everything that's that BET
Most people
Awards
that tell
weekend.
you guys on IG that they're at the BET Awards, they're really at the experience. That's true.
Yeah, they had the experience, and the experience is, hey, I ain't gonna lie, the experience might be better than the show.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
that
I thought
weekend is
it.
probably better than the show. Like it's kind of like All-Star Weekend. Like the All-Star game ain't really the best part of the All-Star
Now I've
Weekend.
been to All Star Weekend. You're definitely correct. And like the game itself is kind of like, but everything that happens up until that point, you having a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And
Yeah, you
it's
having
like
a
you
great
still
time.
got to play the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think when I was watching it, I thought that we forget that BET technically they're the first. Um, I mean they happen to be the first with a lot of things. Like they were the first award show right after Michael Jackson died years ago. They're the first award show after COVID. So they they kind of had to set the bar for a lot of things of how it was going to come. And I think it was a good job. I think for it to be a digital platform, the way they were doing, like you said, because of COVID, the transitions were smooth. You know, it was good. I thought the host was phenomenal. I thought Amanda Seales did a great job. She was a perfect host. She probably was the most perfect host we have ever seen because we're used to Amanda talking to us on IG about these social issues, about
Oh yeah,
racism.
she was in her element.
She was
She was
definitely
in
her element. We're used to Amanda taking it
she
to
was
that.
in her bag. She was shooting
Yeah,
shots and
that's what we're used
she
to.
was not she was not holding back on
And
anybody.
and the thing is, when it comes to Amanda versus a traditional host or another kind of comedian, who would have had that task, they probably would have kind of paused for a second because they're so used to that, that reaction from the people. Versus Amanda, this is what we do. That technique of just being able to just go, 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 go. That's a technique that you have to learn, that you have to practice. And I thought she did an excellent job when it came to that.
Yeah, you got to just know that you're funny.
You have to, yeah. You got to just know and keep it going. Although don't get me wrong. I do think that we would have benefited from seeing her skill set from a live audience because there's nothing like it, But I thought that she was the perfect host for that. There's no other host I could imagine in 2020 who could have held that platform like the way she did. So I thought every transition she did was remarkable. But even though BET did a good job, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see. I don't want to see it ever again. I don't want to see that again.
I mean, that's COVID. I mean, like they did what they could do.
I know. You're
and
right. It's COVID.
And they were literally this close to canceling it. It was this close to canceling.
But I don't want to. Yeah, but I don't want to see it again, bro. Like I really hope by next year that doesn't happen again. Because
I need the experience back because I need to go to the experience. I need to be in the radio room. I was going to be in the radio. I was going to broadcast from the radio room this year, so I was kind of hurt about that.
Not only about the experience, and I understand you had your own personal things, but there are things within the show that make it grand. We like to hear some of the speeches that might go viral. We want to hear the special guests that show up. I still remember when Michael Jackson showed up for James Brown. You know, I still remember that. That was like, those are these epic moments. You know, when Prince went on and went on and went on. Like those moments like that, like those are the moments that make award shows what they were. Because the thing about award shows is that you are watching award shows to see artists together that you normally would not see. Now, don't get me wrong, that kind of platform might do well for the new generation that's coming up that don't like to be in front of people. Like Summer Walker was probably in her element. Okay, she was having ball. Like she was probably like, "This is amazing. I like this." And for
I'll come out with another album if I can do it like this.
Yeah, and the new artists that are coming up, you know, like, you know, that are straight up YouTubers and IG performers, and they really don't interact with crowd, that might work good for them. But for me, an award show like that adds more to our disconnect of social interaction. And that's all COVID really did. Like, it really pushed for more social, like the blockage of social interaction. But there's something about that liveness that give you that energy that you can feel through the screen, that make you want to be there, that make you want to be the BET experience. Like you just said, you don't watch that and say, I want to be there. You was like, oh, it was a long video. The last year BET Awards, you wanted to be there. And so like I said, I don't want to see that again. I really hope we're done with COVID. But you know, we're probably not, because nobody wants to keep their mask on. And everybody keeps wanting to have parties.
Yeah, so well, I'm in the parties with my mask on.
Gonna be lit.
I'm in the parties with my mask on.
Yeah. This is true. Speaking of a long video, real quick, I forgot to ask you this, and I think I might have forgot to text you this. Did you catch the Jada and Fab?
Yeah, I caught some of it. I watched some of it.
What you feel about it?
What I feel about it? I thought it was great. I mean, I know every New Yorker and every 35-plus-year-old person was like, that was like the Super Bowl. That was great. That was all. If you ever had a DJ Clue mixtape or K Slay, Who Kid, you came up on. If you ever had a mixtape, like a real mixtape with just straight artist freestyling, this was everything to you. So this was a big moment. So I mean, every tri-state, New York, New Jersey, every New Yorker that then moved all around the country and tells everybody 1,000 times a day what part of New York he's from and how it is in New York.
First 4 times.
Yeah, as if we don't know you're from New York as soon as you open your mouth. Like everybody had on Timberlands and New York fitteds. Like it was one of those moments. So it was great. But
yeah, it was definitely it was definitely the battle of the one-liners. I was more entertained by Jada though than anything. Jada entertained.
Oh yeah, the hashtag Jada drunk.
Jada was in his element. You want to talk about somebody who was having the ball? Like Jada was having a good time. The versus battles that have had the artists in the same room has so far been the best so far. I mean, I'm still catching a natural high from that Badu and Jill Scott, but the ones that's been in the same room been good. But that brought the verses back to hip hop right there.
But for people that have actually had the chance, me being one of them, to actually spend time and be around Jada, like that's his personality. Like he is his rhyming, he's like straight dead on serious, and he gonna cut you with 1,000 cuts. Mm-hmm. But when he just chilling, like he has a great personality. Like he's a fun guy to be around. Like, and you don't really. I mean, you get it, but you don't really get that just by listening to his music. But his personality, he's a very fun person to be around. Like he's joking all the time. He's very chill, laid back. So Jada, that's like when I seen Jada laughing. I just was like, yeah, that's Jada. For people that know, yeah, that's Jada.
No, it was dope, man. You know, it was dope because he had that personality, and Fabulous has a cool personality too that we don't never really get a chance to see because he always so chill. So it was good to see him talk in the storytelling, element of it. So yeah, I just wanted to get you, see what you felt about that. But I definitely thought that the verses brought it back to the hip hop element of it, because we got to a point we was watching John Legend, Alicia Keys, and we was watching those other people, and it was like, okay, where's the hip hop, the pure hip, like you said, the pure hip hop element coming into it? What's the next verses you want to see though?
The next verses I want to see. That's a good question. You just put me on the spot. Let's go KC and Cisco.
KC is wait, not Drew Hill and Jodeci. KC and Cisco.
KC and Cisco.
yo, that's so effed up, bro. What about the rest of them, man?
Oh no, the rest of them fine. But I'm just saying, because I could just picture in my head them two just screaming at each other forever. Like,
yeah, that's true. No, that part is true.
But no. I was just joking with that. But honestly, I would do let me see, a nice era. Let me go. Let's go. Nori.
Okay.
And Nori. I gotta pause on this. Nori is definitely one I want to see.
Hold on though. You might be onto something. I think Mobb Deep and Capone Noriega, I mean, God bless the dead prodigy, you know what I'm saying? But Mobb Deep and Capone Noriega, that was always a comparison coming up between those two.
Yeah.
If you're taking it from the purest form,
Yeah, Prodigy, it ain't gonna be the same without Prodigy.
This is true.
It's definitely not gonna be the same without Prodigy there.
I agree.
But yeah, definitely, I would definitely want to see Nori do one. But on the top of the fact that he got the records, but it's just going to be hilarious.
We need somebody with that personality.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious.
I got you. How about Nori and Busta?
Nori and Busta?
Like two personalities, like that you would love to be entertained by.
Not so much Busta.
Why not? But you said Busta ain't got personality, bro.
He got personality, but the records ain't gonna match. It's two different vibes. Well, I mean, you must have got both types. The singles were just extra.
I mean,
but
it's not gonna be a competition. Busta will win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, as far as us having that personality, but it is something that, I mean, the battle that I want to see is the one we're not going to see. I really do want to hear what Ja Rule thinks. I want to see Ja Rule with 50 Cent.
Oh, Ja Rule 50.
It's not gonna happen though, because they
definitely not gonna be in two. It ain't gonna be like the new. It's gonna be like the old verses, not with the new verses where they're in the same place at the same time. It's definitely they're gonna be in two separate locations.
Right. I mean, I think Dipset and G Unit is a good one though.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think
that's a good one. You know what I mean? I think Dipset and G Unit. I think that'd be a good one. But yeah, and I like to see a little bit older school. I like to see Queen Latifah and MC Lyte.
Yeah, and I like to probably see my guy Yo Gotti in one too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but
Yo Gotti's one of my favorite rappers ever.
But I think Queen Latifah and MC Lyte though would be real dope though, because they have a history of stories that they can actually tell us. Because what makes verses so dope is when people tell us the stories behind these records, and the history of Queen Latifah and MC Lyte, the stories that they can carry and they can tell to us. I'll be like glued in, especially for us nerds. Like I'll be glued in. You understand? So that'd be something I look forward to. Let me ask you a sports question, bro. We had two mega things in sports. Let me challenge you on this. Which sports story would you say was the biggest story? Cam Newton becoming the Patriot, or Maya Moore free Jonathan Irons?
The biggest story was Maya Moore, but in actuality, commercially, impact and just gaining traction and getting the most legs, of course, was Cam Newton going to the Patriots.
All right, what you think about it?
And because the Cam Newton already got backlash, like we don't want you to dance, we not with all the Superman, and like they're already Boston being Boston is already like trying to just not be as welcoming as Bostoners in Massachusetts is known to be. But yeah, the thing with Maya Moore was big. She took off. A lot of people that didn't know she took off all the last year. She's basically the female version of Michael Jordan in my eyes. I mean, she's an All-American and at UConn every year. She was in school from a freshman. She already, I think, she got a WNBA championship. Like she is that deal. Like she could play in the NBA and not like just get a spot. Like get buckets. Like she can play with the dude thing and get
right.
buckets. Like it's not like she's not a game. She is the truth. Like Maya Moore is the female Michael Jordan. And I'm quoting this. When she comes back and she plays, like we'll be talking about this 10 years from now. She's the female version of Michael Jordan. She's the best. She's the GOAT when it comes to females. I know Cheryl Miller had that title for a long, long time, but it's Maya Moore now. And much respect to Cheryl Miller, but Maya Moore is the truth. And the fact that she sacrificed all that is like Michael Jordan went away for those 2 years because his father died. He just wanted to get away.
Right.
She sacrificed at the top of her game because she wanted to serve a greater purpose. But so it was, and the fact that it actually got done, and she even said it was a worshipful moment. That's what she quoted. So that was actually it was definitely the more important story, and the biggest story. But commercially and just getting the more clickbait story was Cam Newton. I put it that way.
Why do you think that? Do you think there's anything to Cam Newton getting paid as less as he did? Because as an MVP, the Patriots pretty much is paying him pennies. What do you think about that?
Well, what I think about that, I mean, what they're going to hide behind is the fact of coronavirus because they can't physically check him out because of the coronavirus. So he couldn't take the physical or whatever. So that's what they're going to hide behind, and they're going to put it on his injury. But yeah, Cam is definitely, he's still a top 15 quarterback. Like,
you don't think Cam?
It's 32 teams in the NFL, so he's definitely a top half. You're not going to name more than 15 quarterbacks better than Cam Newton in the league right now.
Do you think there's any truth to people saying that? And this is just some ignorance on Twitter. They was like he accepted that money because he's going through negotiation with his child's mother, and he didn't want to get the child support.
Nah. And I don't think that at all. I think Cam took it because it was actually a perfect situation on both sides. I mean, business-wise, the Patriots, you just stealing money. Like, you just playing with house money. You just got, like I said, a top 15 quarterback for pennies on the dollar for less than you going to pay that's probably the salary. I looked at how many, like, the quarterbacks that are making more guaranteed money. It was like Matt Barkley, Jarrett Stidham. It was like third-string quarterbacks making more money than Cam Newton. But the thing was, and Cam Newton even said it, because it was like a match made in heaven. The Patriots needed Cam, and Cam needed the Patriots. It's just Patriots had a better poker face than Cam. That's basically what it came down to. The Patriots had a much better poker face than Cam Newton had. Yeah, so they held out. Like everybody was saying, they was going to get Cam back in February. As soon as Brady or whenever Brady said he was going to leave, that's when everybody was like, all right, Cam Newton's the perfect one. Patriots held out. They held money. They went through the draft and everything. It was nice and quiet. So they had the perfect poker face, and they let Cam play his hand because they need each other just as much because this is a way Cam can revitalize his career. And if Cam goes and kills it and wins the Super Bowl this year, he's getting $30 million next year, easy. Yeah. So this is like work. This is like working at one week in the hole. When you start a new job, you got to work a couple weeks in the hole, and you get your first check. He doing a season in the hole. He going to get an MVP, get Super Bowl, get an MVP. With the best coach ever, because as much as I hate him, he is the greatest coach ever. It just is what it is. I hate Belichick, but he's Belichick, but he is the best coach ever. I give him more credit than I give Tom Brady. I tell you that. I give a lot more credit to Belichick than I do to Tom Brady for winning those 6 rings. So
Cam goes out. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Cam, when he goes to play for Boston, that's going to greet him in their own very special way, considering he has an all lives matter type of mentality. I wonder if that all lives matter mentality is going to apply to some of the slurs that he's going to hear when he's in the great New England states. But that's just me.
The thing is, they're gonna embrace him once he starts winning because it's like, you're one of the good ones now. Once you start winning, like
validate his all lives matter type of mentality. Then is what you're saying. Yeah,
if he wins, whatever. If he wins. Well, he's gonna win because if everybody that doesn't know the Patriots, they adapt their play calling adapts to their personnel. Like that's why Belichick is actually one of the best coaches ever because his coaching philosophy changes from year to year. Every team he's had, every year, every team is different, but they always win because he changes it to the strengths of that team. So that team they have this year with Cam is going to be a running team. They already have a great defense. So now they have a running quarterback, which can take pressure off of the receivers because you're not worried about Tom Brady running for a first down or running for 6 to 7 yards out of bounds, running out of bounds. You're not worried about that. So you can double up on your receivers. For football IQ guys, you know this. Like you can double up on your receivers. You can man them down because you're not worried about. You can take that extra defender out of the box and put them in coverage because you're not worried about the quarterback. That's what a lot of teams. And then with Cam, you got to bring somebody down in the box, which gives you less people in coverage. And if you spread the receivers out and you have a running game on top of a great defense, it's a perfect situation for both the Patriots and Cam Newton. And I think we were thinking about the Patriots finally it's over, and then they got Cam, and it's just like, damn it.
No, I think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, but I think the impact right now. So I look at it differently. I think the impact right now, like you said, Cam going to the Patriots might be bigger at that moment, but I think as time go on, history is probably going to tell us about the impact of what Maya Moore has done is going to grow.
Of course. The Maya Moore situation is going to age better than this Cam Newton story.
But I'm just saying, I think the more we tell her story, the more, and if she stays at it, because she seems to have found another passion also. So if she stays at it and she does this, to what you were saying earlier about Kim Kardashian, getting things done. Like Maya Moore got something done, and she sacrificed something to get it done. She took a whole year off to get this done. And now, it doesn't seem like she's going to stop because I'm pretty sure there's other people on her list that she wants to help.
This just put the batter in her back.
Passionate about also too.
Right. Yeah, this just put the batter in her back.
So I think as history goes on, when you think about the times that we are in now, though, and that's the thing that kind of think about, like I said, Cam has more of an all lives matter type of mentality. People start to see who he was during press conferences, but even black community, we cheer for him, but it's more of a reluctant thing. Like he doesn't seem to be kind of down for the cause in that sense. He always seemed like he's more for self. But when you talk about what,
of course. I mean, he's a privileged athlete. I mean, Cam's been a star since he was freaking 12 years old. So that kind of sinks in your head, and you kind of No, go ahead.
Yeah, but what you got to hear what I'm saying is that when you talk about the times that we are in now, and we go back 20 years in the future, and people look back on what we're doing now, when you think about the George Floyd thing, the protests, and everything else, what Maya Moore has done is going to be way more impactful. Like her legend is going to grow versus Cam's situation is going to be like, okay, boom, it's going to be a good moment for sports, But as far as impactful on where the culture is right now and where we're going, Maya Moore legend is going to grow off this. I really do.
Of course.
Think so. Yeah.
Of course. No, that's absolutely. I agree with that. With that.
I think hers is going to be more of it's going to be a slower cook, but I think hers is way more impactful. It's going to be a bigger deal. You know what I mean?
It's going to age a lot better. It's going to age a lot better. The Cam Newton story is just right now. Like we've already a week from now, the Cam Newton story will be. We're going to forget about it until the football season starts. We almost forgot about it already. No. That's just clickbait for right now.
I did.
But yeah, the Maya Moore story is definitely something we're going to talk about for years upon years. That's going to age a lot better. But one thing I did want to talk about while we're kind of on sports, this wasn't on the agenda. I didn't see it in the agenda because I actually got my iPad up. I'm looking at it too. All right. So, but HU, you guys got a big time recruit, man.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm surprised you didn't have in here, knowing that you're from the real HU, Hampton University, right?
No, don't do that. University, bro. And since you putting our business out on how we do that, you're supposed to throw things in the agenda also too. It's not just supposed to be me. So you're supposed to do what you just did and throw in things that I don't see. So yes, shout out to HU.
Number 7 recruit in the country, McCord Maker Center, and he got handles. He's kind of like a bigger Kevin Durant in my eyes. Like he's a monster.
They say he can play guard. He's like 7'1". He can play guard, right?
Absolutely. He is a monster. So y'all can go ahead and just tack in that undefeated season this year. So and then y'all had Cam Newton's brother there last year. He just transferred and went away to Auburn to follow his big brother.
But my question, do you think that others are really going to follow suit when it comes to going to black colleges as far as young athletes? Or you think it's going to be not that much?
No, I think it does. And I think this is big because also not just you. A guard just transferred. He was a true freshman last year. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was at Wake Forest last year. He started 21 games as a freshman. at Wake Forest, ACC, big time basketball conference, and he just transferred to Morgan State this week too as well. So it's a big week for HBCUs. And with that being said, once they see that, like that star power of McCoy Maker, and he brings the cameras, he brings the eyes to Howard, and they go undefeated, and they go to the tournament, make some noise. It's going to shift the money. And he also, McCoy Maker even said he wants to make that HBCU movement real. And
are you talking about Sharon? His name is Sharon. Are you talking about Sharon Wright? Sharon Wright Jr. I just looked it up.
From Wake Forest, right? Yeah, he went to Wake Forest. He just transferred.
Wright, yeah.
He just transferred to Morgan State, and there's a couple of other ones that just transferred, and that transferred to HBCUs this year as well. So it's moving real. But McCoy Maker said also he wanted to make sure he's the first person to make the movement real, and motivate people like another top prospect, Mikey Williams, to who already said it wouldn't be bad to go to an HBCU. He's already considering it. He's already open to considering going to an HBCU. So hopefully, I love it. I love it because we already the athletes anyway. We the ones they're making all the money off of. So if we take the power out of their hands and bring it back to HBCUs, oh man.
And I will say to be honest, man, there was a time when big time universities can make the more argument. The bigger argument of, they're on TV more. When it comes to Duke University, they're on TV more. People can see you. But with social media taking over the way it is, and most people watching things online, that argument
TV's going to follow the players.
Yeah, that argument doesn't weigh as heavy as it did in the 90s or even the early 2000s because of people are watching things online now. And if he does his job and you are watching his game online, it doesn't matter.
They're definitely going to go undefeated. You can chalk in y'all got an undefeated season coming.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter if it's not on, if their games aren't on CBS like that. That doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter as much as it did 10, 12 years ago. Like it's just not the same. So I'm glad.
Howard's probably going to be playing at the Verizon Center this year. He's going to have a couple of games at the Verizon Center because Georgetown ain't doing nothing this year. I tell you that.
Hey, well, listen,
so they're going to take a couple of Georgetown's bookings at the Verizon Center. They're going to swap it out with Howard.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Could you imagine that? All that blue and red at the Verizon Center, and not for the Wizards.
Oh, no, I'm with it, man. I definitely I like to see the young boys taking charge, and I like to see the youth taking charge of their own destiny and putting in their hands and using their power. And I'm going to use that transition to have our closing one. And speaking of youth, did you check out the story about your boy August? I seen August and Jada. Some
about them B-more girls that just drive people crazy. It's just Baltimore girls. I tell you, it's just you better leave them alone because once they get you, they got you, and you just can't let it go.
What you take from that? I mean,
I just told you, you can't. Something about the Baltimore girls, man. I'm telling you, you just gotta just stay clear. If you don't know what you're getting into, you better just leave them alone because. Some bottom girls from Baltimore, it's just different.
So hold tight for a second. Let me ask you this though, right? Because honestly, on a personal, I really don't care. But since we're here. So let me ask you on a personal. Let me ask you on a personal note, right? Do you think that he's telling the complete truth about the whole story about the relationship and that Will gave him the blessing? Because apparently, Will and Jada's, what they say, their people are denying it, and Jada is apparently going to be on Red Table Talk soon, talking about the story. But as of right now,
I
don't know what that might be the power of the Smiths. But
So we was on for an hour. The IG gives you an hour.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right, well, real quick. So let's close out with this. So, do you think there's some truth to what August is saying, or you think he's just making it up?
I mean, I think there's some truth to it, of course. I mean, it's not the whole truth, but it's definitely probably some truth for it. I mean, come on, now, let's just be honest. I mean, we've all heard the rumors and alleged that they've had an open marriage for over a decade now. So, I'm sure there's some truth to it, and I'm sure she'll probably put that on the table. I'm sure they're not happy that their truths have been put out. And I mean, who would? I mean, marriage is about, the things that go on in your marriage are supposed to stay in your marriage. And you have somebody that's threatening to put your secrets out. I mean, not that they're bad secrets or whatever. I mean, however they live their life is their thing. But when you have somebody that's putting your information out that you didn't want, that was G14 classified. Of course, you're not going to be happy about that. Like, this is G14 classified. What happens in this house is supposed to stay in this house, and you're putting out of this house's information outside, and we don't like that. So I respect that, but I mean, come on now, like, yeah, it don't look bad. It don't look good for August. I put it that way. I will say this though: the person that looks the worst in the situation is August,
Okay, why is that?
because he looks like the bitter female.
Break that down, bro. You can't just say that and just walk away. Break that down, bro.
It looks like a scorned woman in this situation. Like Jada and Will ain't putting out no statements. They never said nothing about him. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but I have never heard Will even speak his name, like, or do any public things to him. But in his defense, there could be things happening behind closed doors. He could be getting blackballed and stuff like that, which I am not privy to that information. But just on the face value of it, he looks like a scorned female.
I mean, he kind of said that he's lost money behind the scenes. So that was his reasoning for saying what he said. He said that he's lost money and things have been blocked. So that's the reason why he feels like he has to just come out and say what he says. That's
like I said, I'm not privy to that information. So I'm just saying face value. I didn't watch the whole Angela Yee interview, so I mean face value, like just off the break, you hear about it, and it's just like sheesh.
I will say this, man. You know, I really don't care what Will and Jada do in their personal life. And again, I'm not someone who's attached to celebrity worship like that. But what I will say this is that, to your point, that is an example of how a lot of people, when it comes to open relationships, when people say open relationships don't work, it don't necessarily be the couple. It'd be the third party that can't take it.
They'll be thinking they in a relationship. Like, no, you serve a purpose.
It'd be the third party that act like they didn't know about the rules. You understand? The couple usually be all right. You know, the third party is the one that be like, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, I thought you know. So, I mean, he's claiming that Will gave him the blessing. I'm like, that's a little bit. That's woo. You must have really lost some money because you might lose more now.
But you know what was funny though? I seen the meme of the Bad Boys, the Bad Boys movie where it's like the guy going to take out Martin's daughter, but they fixed the meme and they made it. It's like, hey, Mr. Smith, I'm here to tell. My name's Daryl. I'm here to take out your wife. Like that was
right.
But yeah, it was funny and it made for a lot of crazy memes. But in all honesty, like I mean, it's just I mean, I don't care if it's true or not. Like I mean, I don't look at Jada and Will no less. I don't look at none of them. Like, I don't care if it's true or not. That's their business. If they want to have a relationship and it works, their business works. Their marriage works. So hey.
Yeah, and I guess that's my real question. Like, why is it that people are so infatuated with them in particular?
Because they're like one of the only Hollywood couples. They're one of the only Hollywood couples that have been married for this long. And they're black.
At this point. Not even just black. just not even just black though. No, but not even just black, even in white. Like at this point, they've passed a lot besides Denzel and his wife, but we don't publicly know Denzel's wife like that in a sense. Like the way we know Jada.
Yeah, she stayed in the shadow. She's like, I don't want none of that. Y'all have all that attention. Just let me stay in my palace.
I mean, he had to know that this was going to be a bomb that was going to set off, that nothing about that statement was going to just gloss over. He had to know that. There's no way.
And your first reaction is always to deny it. So, I mean, whether it's mentally or out in the open, you're going to go into denial. So,
I ain't going to lie to you, bro. I ain't really got much to say about it besides the fact I'm just enjoying the memes and the jokes.
Yeah, the memes and the jokes. But like I said, something about the Baltimore girls. Something about the Baltimore girls. If you don't know, you ain't never had one, leave them alone. That's what I think about the August Alsina and situation.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'm going to text you whether or not I agree with you or not. That is what it is. But shoot, man, I think we covered everything, man. One thing I will say though is that there still needs to be justice for Breonna Taylor, because just firing one of the cops is not enough.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Breonna Taylor killers need to be put in jail. Her killers need to be put in jail. Breonna Taylor's killers need to be put in jail. Flat out. No excuses, none of that. Like, this needs to get done. And the fact that I guess was the district attorney or attorney general or whatever got engaged over that weekend, bruh.
Nobody
Not a
cares.
good look.
Nobody
Not a good
cares.
look, bro. We need you on your job. We need you on your job. He's a black man. Like, we need you on your job. All right? Breonna Taylor's killers need to be brought to justice. They need to be in jail. And they need to be getting all the love they can get from all the other inmates that are in there waiting on them to be in there for the rest of their life.
The booty going.
That's what they need. You know what I'm saying? What you got going on, bro?
I just finished the first season of Snowfall.
For real?
Just finished the first season.
My guy.
Kicking off season 2 tonight.
Shout out to you, bro. What you think about the show so far, bro?
It's cool.
Well, season 2 is really gonna kick in a notch, though. I'm gonna be 100 with you.
All right, cool.
Like,
I'm looking
season one
forward
was slow. Season 1 was a slow grind, but season 2, it kicks off with a bang. And season 3 is even more devastating. But you season 4 is about to start. I think July 10th it said. So you should.
Cool.
Yeah.
Best. So I'm right on schedule.
For your schedule, yeah. For your schedule. Rest in peace to John Singleton, man, because that was his show as a producer, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction the show takes. Now that he's not going to have his eyes on it, but the show's a great show. Great, excellent show. What else you got going on, bro?
No, I'm just chilling. Keeping these records spending time with the family.
No.
No big announcements.
Right,
no big announcements, man.
I got a couple church announcements. Make sure you go to my link at jhall radio on my IG. Check out my bio. It's a few articles I wrote that might be popping. Also, I got a couple playlists. I got a playlist called Rebel Music. The Revolution Should Be Black. That's a playlist that we pumping right now that we put out there. So that's out there. Another article. So much that I can name. But make sure you check out my YouTube page at J.Hall Radio. Make sure you check out the work that I've done for AURN, American Urban Radio Networks. We in here. But again, just go to my IG page at J.Hall Radio. Go to the link and click, and you will see all the work that I've done because I've been working on this computer. And that's how we do it. Anything else I just can't think of because my brain is fried right now. So just can't think right now.
That's right.
So that's about it, man. But I appreciate you, bro. We got to do this again real soon. This live thing was good. You put the clock up, and I saw it was ticking, but your clock was behind it. So that's why I was thrown off.
Yeah, but Instagram had a clock, and theirs was on time.
How about that? All right, man. As usual, we appreciate you guys checking out. Make sure you always check out all things HipHopMatrixShow at HHMS98. I'm J.Hall. This is brother right here, DJ Akademiks. Be blessed, but successful, and we'll talk to you soon. We ghost.
That's right.